welcome to another episode of Chapter 9. I'm Christina Galvin here with the lovely Rachel Polanski, and we are happy to be here after a little hiatus. We've been busy in the month of November, right,
Well,
Rach?
yeah, you've been busy. Chrissy is now a Mrs.
I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, I should have had Scotty put in the photo of us from the wedding. That would have been really fun.
True.
Well, we had a great time. Of course, my girl Rachel was with me, and shout out to her husband Dom, who tears up the dance floor. Clearly at every event he goes to, because Rachel told me he won't stop dancing no matter what, and I think it's awesome.
Which is so funny because I have no rhythm, so
it's
all
him
there.
Yeah. And Ryan was there too.
Yeah, it was
his
fun.
lovely co-anchor and his wife Dana, and it was a really good time. And we went to the Dominican Republic for our honeymoon, and I highly, highly recommend going to that country. It is beautiful. Backstory, we were supposed to go to Jamaica, but obviously as Jamaica recovers, we decided to pivot, understandably, right? Mm-hmm. So, but we had a beautiful time, and now we're back, and we are ready for the holidays. And page out of Rachel's book, it's sweater weather.
Yes.
It is sweater weather all the way.
Totally.
I'm rocking my tan sweater today. Rachel, where's your sweater?
I know. If I wasn't just on TV, I would be wearing like a full athleisure sweatsuit.
I love my sweatsuit.
I always have my sweatshirt and my little matching sweatpants. That is kind of my uniform when I'm not on TV.
I don't blame you. One book that we recommended that we decided to do for this episode is Great Big Beautiful Life. Yeah. Super glad that you recommended it, Rach, because it was the perfect honeymoon read. So fun. Emily Henry is an awesome beach read, besides the fact that she has a story called Beach Read.
Right. But this one was kind of different for her.
It was.
We were chatting about that. Most of her books are very much like rom-coms, romances.
Yeah.
And really she feeds into those tropes a little bit, but she does them so well. But this was different. It was like a very unique spin on her typical rom-com, and it still has the romance in it.
Oh,
just
definitely.
Not
She's
like the others.
Yeah. And for those that are just catching up and don't want us to spoil it for you as far as you're planning on reading it, pause now, of course, because we do have some spoilers later on in the episode. But Alice Scott is a journalist dreaming of her big break. And then Hayden Anderson is a Pulitzer Prize-winning grump. They're both on Little Crescent Island, which, by the way, that island sounded so dreamy and so lovely. It made me want to go to a vacation town so badly
It reminds me of Tybee Island, which is just like on the coast of Savannah. I feel like that's the inspiration. I don't know, but it gives those vibes for sure.
She always picks an awesome destination where you can kind of picture in your head, you know, going there. So
Totally.
I thought that was really neat. So they're there for the same reason, to write a biography of a woman that no one has seen in years, or at least meet in person, to claim who the Margaret Ives legacy is all about. So I thought you hit it spot on, Rachel. Rachel and I were talking about this a couple days ago about just our overall thoughts of the book. It absolutely reminds me of Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Yeah, it really
does.
Yeah, it has a lot of that vibe. Yeah. And a little bit, too, when you were just reading that recap there, a little bit too like House of Gucci, like that, how it's like the House of Ives, like the big empire conglomerate. But yeah, the Seven Husbands thing, and even like rereading the recap too, a lot of it is kind of Taylor Jenkins Reid vibes.
It's kind of like similar
a mesh.
Writing, the same kind of reluctant to share your story, but here it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was interesting. I really did.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, and I also liked how it was like you had these two women, Alice and Margaret, you know, generations apart, but dealing with these important issues, whether it be like grief or love or these other things. I liked the parallels. So I gave it 4 stars.
Yeah. Why'd you do that?
4 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't do 5 because, well, we'll get into it more when we come back.
Yeah.
But I didn't think Margaret's storyline was the most compelling. Like, I was really into Alice and Hayden's storyline, but I felt like Margaret could have been a little more developed. And then I feel like I've talked about this before, but a lot of times with these books where they're like following journalists, I hate how they play into like that journalist trope of the like dreaming of the big break, and that just as a journalist bothers me sometimes.
It's funny that you
So,
say that because I just finished reading a book by Geneva Rose, and my goodness, I understand the appeal around her stories, but I am so close to not reading her anymore because of how crazy she makes reporters sound. They make us sound like blood-sucking. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Just blood-sucking mosquitoes, and like she says that like the
know.
police are like get. It's like you don't realize that we actually have a phenomenal relationship with police in our area. It makes me so mad.
know.
Emily Henry does not do that to that extent.
Yes, totally.
But she does like give like almost comparing the journalist to like the American dream, like you're saying. Like all I need is just one big story.
I know.
And it's
like,
not always like that. And obviously she's she has her own, spin on the like different writing. Like obviously a Pulitzer Prize type of story about a celebrity is so different than what we do on a day-to-day basis.
Sure.
But I think you're spot on when it comes to the confusion and but yeah, you never know.
Well, why did you say 4 stars?
Oh, that's an easy one. I really thought that it was a thoroughly entertaining. Like I was thoroughly entertained by it. I did the audiobook, made the plane ride to and from the honeymoon so easy. Actually, only 2 because I finished it before I left. It was a somewhat witty book. I always appreciate Emily Henry's humor. She does get silly and dorky sometimes, but I like that. I like silly and dorky every now and then when it's played in the right way. And I thought that, not that this was really more her writing, but I think credit if she has any influence in it. I thought the voices that they chose for the characters were really suitable. I thought that, sometimes that can make or break how I listen to an audiobook, how much I enjoy it, and with having to like get into the audiobooks so much lately, I thought that this was a really good choice of that. So I didn't want to stop listening to it most of the time when I started. So that's always a good sign to me.
That's very true. And she has used that narrator before, Julia Whalen.
Yep.
I agree. She's great. She just like there's something about Emily Henry books, and she just nails it every time.
Yeah. And there's so much there, in that book, or in this book, when we dive into it a little bit more, there's a lot of emotion that goes into it, and I thought that she just is a phenomenal voice actor.
Totally.
I thought it was so great. I did knock off 1 star, too, because when we did get into some of the plots that Margaret was sharing about her life, it did get to like, okay, where are you going with this?
Yeah.
I did get bored on some occasions. I almost liked it more when it was just Alice talking about her relationship with Hayden. I found that more entertaining than the whole like what is going on with Margaret. The end though, I thought picked up really well.
Yes, totally agree.
Yeah, I was locked in on what was going on with the relationship between Margaret and her sister.
Yes, and like the cult, like how they brought in that cult and stuff like that.
And I think that is the perfect segue to tossing a break because there's clearly so much that went on in this book that we'll dive into. So we will be right back and. Wow, you really teased it there with that cult. People are going to be like, what?
I know. Come back.
Or say, I love that part too.
Yeah.
Stay with us. Hello. Welcome back. Was just dealing with some technical difficulties, but we move on.
Yay. That's okay.
Well, when I unpaused it to come back from break, it said, oh, we're rolling now. So
oh, that's okay. Well, here we go.
We were just both so excited to get back to what we were talking about. Okay. The most hilarious sidebar point that I know both Rachel and I are going to crack up at.
Yeah.
We are both, I can't speak for you, Rachel. I'm 5 feet tall. Are you about 5 feet tall?
Yes, I am.
Yeah? Okay.
I think I even, I lie a little bit and round up to 5'1". I'm not quite even 5'1". I'm like 5.5.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, what does it matter? I'm always wearing heels, so
it's true.
You never have to worry about me being 5 feet tall. But
that's true. I'm more like 5'3" in that case.
See?
Yeah,
5'3" on most days,
yeah,
you'd say.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a part in the book where Alice and Hayden have a scene where they're constantly knocking knees in a restaurant that they're in. There are multiple restaurants together, and she just goes on about how inconvenient it is to be tall.
Yeah.
Can't relate at all. Never once. I don't think I've ever been considered tall in my life. Not even in like kindergarten when everyone's growing in their own pace. But she's just she gets so insecure about being tall, and like Hayden like reassures her, being like, never been my thing to be with like girls.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I know. Wait, it's so funny. And then also, because I'm the person in the restaurant. I'm so small. I'll like put my legs up, like I'll do like the crisscross.
Extra leg room.
I'm always, or like whenever on planes, I can like sit crisscross and
Yep.
yeah. So you'll never hear that complaint from me. And then similarly, my husband is like 6'2", so he's like a solid foot taller.
What's the height difference between you guys?
So we never have that issue though of like knocking knees. That's
Yep.
not an issue that Hayden and Alice had there.
Nope.
What about you and Josh? How tall is Josh?
Josh is a foot taller than me.
Oh, he's a foot taller
Yep,
too.
He's just above 6 feet tall. So
we're in the same boat.
never an issue there.
Yeah. So Hayden, we are not Hayden's type.
No, clearly not. That's all right.
Yeah, okay.
His overall character is too grumpy for me.
He was very grumpy. And that was, since we're on it, that was one thing I didn't love about this. I felt like he was just a little bit too grumpy, and she was just a little bit too sunshiny. Like,
Yeah,
they were almost like unrealistic.
And it reminds me a lot of what Emily Henry does.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say that because I'm sure I haven't read Funny Story in such a long time.
Was that the Augustus one? Or was that Beach Read? Like Augustus.
I haven't read Beach Read yet.
I forget which is which. And then there's one with Poppy.
Poppy is Happy Place.
Okay.
Right?
I
the
think
bright pink one.
And one's orange.
I will say a lot of them.
They're very similar.
Yes, a lot of them fit. Who's the best friend, Alex and Poppy?
Yeah, isn't that
this is my point.
Or is that People We Meet on Vacation?
People We Meet on Vacation.
Vacation.
Thank you, because I don't think I've read Funny Story. I think I want to read Funny Story.
I don't think I've read Funny Story either. I think Augustus
I want to read
is
them
Beach
all,
Read.
even if they sound similar, because her
They're good.
writing style is just so fun.
Yes, agreed.
But it very much reminds me of People We Made on Vacation with, having. Did you also see where they crossed over a little bit too?
You kind of told me, but I didn't pick up on it.
Really?
So go into it.
Yeah. So there is a part in A Great Big Beautiful Life where one of the old gentlemen that Allison befriends, I forget his name, but you end up knowing that he does have a connection later on in the story, being
the captain.
The captain, yes. Sweet old man. You learn to love him whenever Allison interacts with him. Says something about how reporters have been on the island before, doing a travel guide. It's like, oh, it seemed like she talked less about the reporter and more about her travel partner, talking about Poppy and Alex.
Oh,
so if
yes.
you do ever re-listen to this book, you would pick up on that for sure.
Oh, that's
say,
funny.
oh, now I remember. But if you haven't read People We Meet on Vacation in a while, you would definitely let that just go right over your head.
Yeah.
But because it was so fresh for me, I went,
picked up on it.
That's smart.
Abby Jimenez does that too. She's like the other queen of these types of rom-coms with Emily Henry. You'll see some crossovers with the characters, which is nice. I like when they do that.
It's like one world.
Yes, and they're like little
lot.
Easter eggs that it doesn't throw the story off. And like you said, if you didn't notice it, it goes right over your head. But if you do, you're like, oh, a little Easter egg.
So
it's fun.
Taylor Jenkins Reid does that too from Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Oh my goodness, words. She does that in Malibu Rising.
Oh, I haven't read that one yet.
Really good. Really
that one's on my
book.
list. So is Atmosphere, which we both, I think, put on our list.
Love Atmosphere.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it and would reread it again if once Rachel's able to get it on her Goodreads.
Well, maybe coming soon
Libby.
then.
There you go, Libby. Another good point. I actually found this to be pretty beautiful. I mean, I'm lucky to say I have a good relationship with my mom, but I know that not everybody can say that. Allison's relationship with her mother baffled me, just the way that, they went through a really big experience losing Allison's dad, who clearly was their center of their universe and their family. The sister's kind of a side character, but the relationship between Allison and her mother was clearly disheveled at the beginning of the story. They didn't understand each other. And then I almost started to tear up when I listened to their kind of breakthrough with why they don't have, the strong mother-daughter bond that people are used to. What do you think of that?
Well, and I agree with you that I can't totally relate. I'm really fortunate and I'm very close with my mom. And I always feel like she's proud of me no matter what I do. I feel like a lot of this stemmed from, Alice felt like she wasn't good enough, or because she covered more tabloid news, it wasn't the hard-hitting stories her mom would be proud of. I never really have had that piece of it. But yeah, it was heartbreaking to read. But then it was nice, like you said, the breakthrough, I thought. And again, I like how Emily Henry does that. Like, even though this is a romance, she like has these other dynamics at play. So like I like how like what their relationship became. And I even thought again that she kind of played that into Margaret and Cosmo, and Margaret with her sister, that like Alice's time with her dad was also short. You know, Margaret's time with Cosmo was short, and then it's like, you know, now she's trying to renew this time with her mom, how she tried to, like, renew that time with her sister. Like, I felt like there were some overlaps there that she was trying to bring forward.
Yeah, I think so, too.
So, yeah, and I also even like to go back to the book title, Great Big Beautiful Life, that it's all, you know, part of the, things are messy, things are complicated, but it's all part of this great big beautiful life. So I think it all kind of tied in.
Yeah, I think so too. And then my favorite part, because I just thought it was so interesting. I always find, I don't know about you, but I always find dialogue in a book so much more entertaining than descriptions. I know why descriptions are so key, but I don't know if I just, especially with audiobooks, I feel like I am watching a movie in my head when there's that back and forth going on. And I really liked Alice's and Hayden's back and forth. While he was grumpy, I thought it was entertaining that she managed to make him like crack a smile. She broke down his walls.
Yeah.
She made him laugh when he didn't want to. Like that progression of the relationship was really funny.
Yeah.
There was like one moment where she like thought he died because she left like coffee and a baguette outside of his door, and she's like, he didn't pick it up, and like slammed on the door, and then she's like, oh, he has a hot body. He was like, I just don't take coffee from strangers. Like, I was reading that. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah. And that's another thing that Emily Henry does so well.
She creates like these normal-ish situations where I'm like, okay, that could actually
memorable.
happen in real life.
It's different.
Yeah.
No, you're right. And their relationship was fun.
Yeah.
I was very into their storyline. Like,
Me too.
anytime they came into the picture, I was entertained. Where it lost me a little bit was more on Margaret's storyline. Like, I almost felt like, and I liked the idea of the Ives Empire and digging into it, but it almost felt like, to me, they went too much into the family tree. Like, I didn't have to know about her great grandfather's whatever, like that part of it.
Yeah, there were some details where if you were telling me this story out loud, I would zone out. You know,
Right.
I was like, okay, all right, continue.
And then some of it was great, like when it got to the cult part and her sister, like that was fascinating.
Yes,
but I don't think I needed to know all the like backstory of the great grandparents and how the actual media empire started.
Yeah. I think that could have been summarized in like the one session, but they did multiple sessions like that. One point I just didn't really understand was they like really emphasized that Margaret lied a lot. Do you remember that? They're like, she's lying to me too. She's lying. And I get that the one big secret, of course, and cover your ears or skip past this part if you really don't want to hear it, because it's the big spoiler, is that Hayden is Margaret's grandson, because you hear about Nicolette, you kind of get these hints about her the whole time, the hotel, all that stuff, but I don't get where the other lying comes from, you know? Is it because they do hint like maybe she's getting old, maybe she's not remembering things, you know?
Yeah, no, you're right.
They never allude to her passing away.
Yeah.
Or being sick. It's just strange to me.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
I could have totally missed a part of it, but they mentioned multiple times when Hayden and
where things didn't jive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And she never really came back to that.
Yeah. Would you think of like the fallout? You know, there's always a fallout in these types of stories when Hayden ends up finding out like that he's related and like gets really mad at Allison. Like, I just thought that was just, it reminded me of like so Disney, you know, like get away, and then he ends up coming back, of course. But only because Margaret wrote him and being like, don't blame her, you know.
Yeah, it might have been a little over the top. I feel like when I was listening to it, like, it didn't bother me, but, like, as we're, like, talking about it, I'm like, it was a little over the top.
I guess it was
But I guess
cute.
you need the drama.
Yeah.
So that their reunion is, that much better. But I mean, and also if you think about it, like, they both signed NDAs, so it's not even like she could tell him. I mean, I'm sure she could have, but, I think they needed the drama a little bit. I don't know. How did you feel too? Because that kind of goes to that point. So she goes back to Georgia and she's like writing the memoir. What did you think about all of that?
You mean like she decides to write a memoir about her parents?
Yeah. Like, was that necessary? I don't know.
I think it's sort of cute because it ties a bow on her relationship with her mom, saying like that's the love story I want.
True.
You know, and like I think Emily Henry wanted to give the character purpose. You know, like she lacked purpose. You know, at that moment, like she knew that she wasn't chosen to write Margaret's story at that moment.
Right.
You know, so she was kind of lost. So she's like, oh, that's what I'll start doing with my life. And then Hayden comes back and is like, I love you. We'll make this work. I'll get a condo and like like something random. Like I'll come back to Atlanta or something.
Right.
Yeah, it was one of those endings that I was like, okay, this is beautiful, but it's also not like as tied together as it could be. But
that's true.
I thoroughly still enjoyed it, and like that's I think the one thing that authors like Emily Henry can get away with. You know, like you don't necessarily. It's not a thriller where everything needs to make sense and get away with stuff. There's no open ends. It just kind of is. Well, that's nice.
And I even liked that they ended up co-writing the book.
Yeah,
like I thought that I liked that piece of it.
That they ended up doing that
together.
I thought that was really cool.
That was nice. I like that. And then I think at the very end, because again, I read this a couple months ago, but I was just like looking over notes. The birth of Alice and Hayden's daughter. That also kind of puts a neat bow on everything, which is kind of nice too.
Yeah, the whole point of like Margaret losing this her daughter, putting her up for adoption. It kind of comes full circle with them having the girl of their own.
A lot of heavy topics in this book, like as we're talking about too.
But just told so well. I never felt where I'm like, woof, this is my honeymoon read. You know, like it still was. It was engaging, and it wasn't too like la la la. You know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like those either. I like.
It wasn't cheesy.
No.
She tackled tough topics, but she did it in a way that it was still entertaining and it didn't go too far.
Yeah, I would give this a high-end 4 for entertaining.
Yeah,
you
agreed.
know, I think it very much deserved it and would recommend this for anybody.
And I just like that Emily Henry went outside, or I mean, I'm opining here, but that she went outside her comfort zone and just did something different than her usual rom-coms.
It was a unique concept.
It was different. Yeah,
very unique. I haven't heard somebody like fighting for a spot like that.
Yeah.
Between Alice and Hayden, who would you pick to write your biography?
That's funny. I don't know. I'd have to think about that more. Maybe I'd have them co-write the book.
Right.
They bring such different styles to it. I don't know. What do you think?
I'd probably choose Alice, just because she is more relatable as a woman, you know? I don't know how Hayden would be able to relate to me. I'm sure he's a stroke of genius in his own right. That's how they make him sound.
Yeah.
But I'm the type of person that, like, am typically open book if you get to know me. And I feel if I felt comfortable enough to share my story, I'd want someone to share it with, passion and empathy, not just, like, cold, hard facts. Like, she was born on,
sure.
She is the daughter of,
Yeah.
I would love to have, like, somebody, not that, they don't really allude to what Hayden's writing is, and it sounds like he's a genius, so yeah, Alice.
Okay, but I don't know. Maybe I would do the co-writing. I would follow in Margaret's footsteps.
Oh yeah, yeah. But that was a vote for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well that concludes Great Big Beautiful Life.
Yeah.
I'm excited to share this next one because it is a local author that she reached out to us and wanted us to give this a try. Loving Lavender Finch. I am really excited about this one because I've already started and it makes some Central New York references.
Okay.
Which I think is going to be just really cool reading through it and being able to say, oh my gosh, you do this and that, Just that'll be really cool.
Absolutely.
Here's a little bit of summary. Hold on, I have to cough. I apologize. 'Tis the season.
Yeah.
It is a coming-of-age novel about a young woman who keeps a trauma a secret, leading to a cycle of lies and shame that isolates her from her loved ones. But she must learn to trust others with her truth to overcome her loneliness and find love and healing, and she does so through unexpected relationships. So I'm really excited. If you are interested, here's the cover one more time.
Yeah.
Loving Lavender Finch. Kelly tells me that it's sold online if you just want to grab it off of a online store, locally in Barnes & Noble. That's what she read in Marcellus, as we know, great store.
Yes.
Ink and Paper in Kaz, still want to try that one out. And then the River's End in Oswego, which was actually, fun fact, Rach, it was the first news package that I've ever done, was the River's End bookstore.
God.
Yeah, I did highlighting some event that they were doing, and my professor was like, yeah, go for it. So that place will always have a special place in my heart. But
That's awesome.
Rachel, always down to hype a local author.
I know. I'm really excited. And she, I love that she reached out to us.
Yeah.
She, dropped the books off. So I'm really excited to give this a shot.
Yeah, me too.
And anybody listening out there, if you're a local author or you want, or you know of a local author that you want some spotlight, send our way, because we really want to feature all of the Central New York talent that we have.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, and if you have any local book signings coming up, we would love to hear about it. But we're open to any and all suggestions. Follow us on Facebook, Chapter 9 Book Club. We love hearing suggestions, and it'll soon, before you know it, it's going to be the holidays. So Rachel and I are already kind of looking into what holiday books we want to read. But Loving Lavender Finch, that's our next book. But thank you so much for joining us. We hope you had a good time going over Great Big Beautiful Life, and we'll see you next time.
Download the WSYR Plus app on your TV to stream News Channel 9 for free. Just go to your smart TV, search WSYR Plus in the App Store, and download to start streaming today.